kids. So today we're going to continue our paper airplane task, and we're moving into part 3, which is estimations. And we are going to take what we've been doing with our paper airplane so far, and we're going to put them in our next to last airplane task. Yesterday we worked on estimations, and today we are going to apply estimations to real-world activities. Today, we're going to use our paper airplane distance chart, our knowledge of place value, rounding, and estimation. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to say, I can use rounding to help me estimate. I can accurately use place value when adding numbers. And I can understand what estimation means. Now, this is our focus for our task today. I want to know how far each airplane went total. What I mean by that is if I put each throw end to end for each airplane, how far would they have gone all together? So before I add up all the actual distances together, I want to get an idea of how far I think it will be. So we're going to do this 2 ways. One, we are going to look at our chart and we're just going to kind of take in the numbers and make a quick estimate. Then we are going to make a rounding estimate. This is when you round the numbers to make them friendly numbers ending in 0 in the ones place, and then using those to add and get an estimate. So I'm first going to focus on my plane striker. I'm only going to do one plane at a time. I'm going to make an estimate before I start doing any other math. So I'm just going to look at these 10 numbers. And so looking at the numbers in the striker column, about how far does it look like striker flew altogether? So let's just look at the striker, and I'm seeing lots of 40s, 30s, kind of all in the mid-range between 35 and kind of mid-40s. So I'm going to say 40. And I know because of the power of 10, that means multiplying by 10, and our place value chart, that if I multiply 40 times 10, it moves up a place value and makes it 400. So my quick estimate is 400. Okay, so now my quick estimate is 400. Now I'm going to make a rounding estimate. And so I'm going to round each of the throws in the striker column. So what I have done is I have taken each of the throws and I have put them on a vertical number line. And so you can see how I've done that here. Now I'm going to do it with 45, and so on and so forth. Okay, now I have all of my throws in my number line. Okay, this will actually help me round. So 50 stays 50 because 50 is already a friendly number and it ends in a 0. There's a 0 in that ones column. So I don't have to do anything with the 50. Now when I look at the 47s, because it's not a friendly number, it ends in a 7, I'm going to have to round. On my vertical number line, I can easily see that 47 is closer to 50 than it is to 40. But I also know I can do this mathematically. 47 rounds to 50 because 47 is closer to 50 than 40. But we know that because we look at the digit to the right of the tens column, and that digit, if it's 5 or higher, we give it a shove. And if it's 4 and below, we let it go. Well, 7 is higher than 5, so we shove the 4 up 1 digit to 5. So 47 is closer to 50, and that's how we round it. Okay, now we've got 50 stays 50, 47 rounds to 50, and now we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of them. So here we go. All of these have been rounded. And so now I'm going to take these friendly numbers, the rounded estimates, and I am going to add it all together. And it's going to give me a general idea if number one, my quick estimate was accurate, and number two, it's going to let me see if my actual addition that we take on tomorrow will help. So here's our vertical number line with just the throws, and I've rounded them all, and here are my rounded numbers. Now, it will be much easier to add these together because they all end in 0. So how am I going to add them together? Well, I can do that in 2 ways. I can group the numbers together and then add their sums together. And what I mean is grouping the numbers that are the same. So for instance, I can group the 50s together, and then I can group the 40s together, and then I can group the 30s together. And I know that 50 plus 50 plus 50 is 150. And I've used my base 10 rods here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And so there are 3 different ways I can do it. I can add down the column, keeping my place values lined up. I can use the virtual manipulatives so that I can see and get a visual idea of how much it is. Now I'm going to do the same with the 40s. 40 plus 40 plus 40 gives me 120, and 30 plus 30 plus 30 gives me 90. Well, now that we have each of the groups, we simply put them all together. We keep our place values lined up. So in the ones position, we have 0 plus 0 plus 0. We know that's 0. The tens position, now we have 50 plus 20 plus 90. It is sometimes easier to just say the digits. In this case, it would be 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 9 would give us the 2 digits that are 16, and that's okay. So we put down our 6 because it's in the ones position, and then we carry our 1 in the other position. And then 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And so our total answer is 360. Well, my original quick estimate was 400. The rounded estimate is 360. Another way I can do this is I can line up the numbers in place value, and I can just add them all together. The problem with this is it can lead to a lot of math errors, and it would actually look like this. And then when you add them all together, it does equal 360. But you can see that is a lot of numbers to have in a big column. So sometimes grouping them by similar numbers can help. So for my first plain striker, my rounded estimate for distance is 360. But here is a really important thing about math. Context. 360 what? Remember when we do reading with Miss Burrows, she talks a lot about context. That's how we know what a vocabulary word means. We look at the words around it in the sentence, and we think about what the sentence is about. We do the same thing in math. 360 what? We need a context for it. Well, in this case, it would be feet. Because remember, we measured with our feet, which are also about a foot long in shoes. So generally, we do mean feet. This lets us know what we're using to measure. So the answer to this is the total estimated distance Stryker flew was 360 feet. Okay. Now it's your turn. You know how to do all of this math. You are simply doing a quick estimate, and then you're rounding to come up with another estimate. We're not adding the actual numbers together yet, okay? So for this lesson, we created our estimate for Stryker together. But now as your individual task, you're going to do the same steps, for the bumble plane. You can do it for your own planes as well, but in case you've misplaced your chart, you can use my bumble plane. So remember, you're going to round the distances, then add the rounded numbers together, then find the final estimate of the bumble. I have it set up here. You will simply click in the box to give your answer. So 33 rounds to, and type your answer in here. Then you will Control C and you will copy. And in your next one, paste all that information here. There's no reason to type it in again. Once you've added these together, your final answer will go in this box. So good luck, guys. Remember, you know how to estimate. You know how to round. And by using both estimating and rounding, you can check your math to make sure you're within the ballpark of what you need to do. So get out there with your airplanes and your charts, make those estimations, and get ready for part 4.